Welcome back. We are back for another Sunday of the session called Ask Somebody Else, an opportunity for you to ask an industry expert or somebody else in the property space all of the things you potentially would want to ask about property. Today, we have the owner, Kofi of £1 Million Homes, who's going to be joining us today. If you don't know already, go and look out for £1 Million Homes page on Instagram, have over 100,000 followers, and they've basically set up a platform not only showcasing but now selling luxury homes. How we doing, sir? You okay?
I'm fantastic, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, we're not too bad. Just enjoying a bit of nice weather for once.
We're trying.
Exactly. So I was just introducing you before you locked in. I was actually late today myself.
Yeah, no, just a minute. I was sitting here waiting.
I apologize. I apologize profusely. I don't know why. I was having technical problems myself.
No.
So you're the first person who set a record to beat me here. Well, thank you very much for taking time out on your Sunday to be here.
So thank you for having me.
This is Kofi. This is the owner of £1 Million Homes. As I said before, that those that don't know, it's a platform on Instagram, from my understanding, and I'm sure you'll correct me afterwards, but started showcasing luxury homes. And then from building, a massive following, 100,000 people plus. So if you're not already following, whether, you're looking to buy a home or just you want inspiration, make sure you go and follow the page, because it does give me a lot of inspiration, obviously, because the type of projects they do showcase. But they've transitioned from being, one thing is having an Instagram page. The next step is potentially how do you monetize that? How do you turn a page into a business? How do you turn a passion project into something that's creating wealth? And that's something that I've seen you do. And when we've met, you've showed me the steps you've taken. But I think I'd like to lead you on now to give us a bit more information about maybe how long you've been running the page, where did it start, what were your initial goals, and where you've got to with it now.
Yeah, sure. So it was kind of random, to be honest. So I started the page end of May 2018.
Okay.
At the time, so I'm a property investor myself, not in the luxury market, but I'm a property investor myself. So when I was looking on social media, because we're all on social media, I didn't see much property pages that focus just on the UK market.
Yeah.
You would traditionally see properties in Australia, America, Thailand, where they're very aesthetically pleasing. But I didn't see much in the UK. So I started the page. I got the name. It was literally like 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Very random. But I got the name.
Time to work.
Yeah, best time to work. So I got the name. I started posting. I started going on and looking at homes in Wentworth Estate, St. George's Hill, and just posting them. And I gained some traction. I got a few followers and things like that. But obviously at the time, I was posting terrible quality pictures, proper zoomed in. And I was posting like 5 times a day. So I consistently did that for a few months. And then December, the Times approached me to say they wanted to talk about social media and property in their newspaper. So I was talking about, what the steps that I took, same thing that I mentioned here, steps that I took and why I did it. And it was essentially just to showcase luxury homes in the UK, because I don't feel like they were being showcased in a way that will be, appeasing to the masses. I think Rightmove is one way, Zoopla is another way, but traditionally you see it in newspapers, magazines, and things like that. So fast forward to the beginning of lockdown, I was on about 3,000 followers, and that's when I consistently started posting. So one of my friends, I think he's in the chat right now, Jordan. He saw the name and he realized what could be done with it. So he actually pushed me and said, "Listen, you have something here. Push it consistently and you'll see what will happen." So I just did that consistently, found quality homes, not just on Rightmove, sold homes, homes that were on the market, homes that were sold, architectural photography, interior photos, everything. So I just started showcasing it. And then I was getting about 3,000, 4,000 followers a week at the time. So obviously now we're on 134,000, which is lovely.
Amazing. Well done.
Thank you very much. But in between that time, what I realized was, so obviously the property market was closed until July. And that's when things started opening up again. You could do viewings, you could actually go out and see properties. And at that time, what we saw was people that were living in inner city areas, they were looking to move out to home counties like Buckinghamshire, Hertfordshire, Surrey, Kent, places like that. And I was showcasing a lot of those types of properties. So I was getting a whole influx of people coming to me saying they're looking for a home. Now, because it was through Instagram, I didn't really take it seriously as much. So I was just looking at things that people were posting. And then,
so as a question, when you started, was there any track between what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Did you have any, when your page started to grow even to 3,000 and to 5,000, were you trying to monetize then, or was it all just still about growth at that stage?
Not at all. Literally, it was just about showcasing the homes that I liked.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think about monetizing. I was thinking maybe at a later stage I might be able to, but it wasn't at the top of my mind. It was literally just showcasing homes. It was when I got to about 5,000-6,000. That's when I saw, okay, yeah, sure, there's an opportunity here. But it's when I got the consistent flow in and about July, August of people saying that they're looking for homes. That's when I realized, okay, people are watching, and they need the right type of homes, especially in the areas that I was posting in. So, here we are.
That's nice. Okay. And then, so now do like developers actively come to you to market their homes?
Yeah. So developers come to us, private sellers come to us, estate agents come to us, architects, interior designers to showcase their work. So it's essentially a market now. It's more like a marketplace for everything to do with luxury property. So if you want to showcase your work, you can come to us and we can work with you to showcase some of the amazing projects that are there on the page. So you see on the page, there's a variety of things, and I always credit people, even if it's not, necessarily paid feature or anything like that. Sometimes I just post things that I like.
No, which makes sense. And I think that's one thing that I've been in a few clubhouses recently where they've been talking about how to build your social media brand on Instagram. And I think thing that people forget is Instagram is for photos. So if you post like aesthetically pleasing photos consistently, it's just like a mood board for some people. For a lot of people that I follow, are genuinely just either inspiration or a mood board. I follow loads of these nice, because I do a lot of flats, a lot of micro flats, like small bathroom ideas, or like small kitchen ideas and things like that. And I guess, if you consistently, if you are wanting to grow your brand, I think what you said is potentially not looking to monetize too early, not taking the check or the payments too early, and build that brand, because the money will come in down the line as you 100%. Develop things. So I think that's really important.
That's the thing, because even at the beginning when I wasn't monetizing, I would look at everything that's on the market and I would say, I like this house, I'm going to post it. I like this house, I'm going to post it. Then when things started transitioning, I started looking at, okay, do I have a relationship with this person first? Do I have a relationship with this person? Do I have a relationship with this person? I'm not sure if I can post this because of this. So things started changing because of the relationships and the business element of what's going on. So sometimes obviously I try to stay consistent as much as possible, but there's a lot more things that come into it now. So sometimes it can be a bit annoying because there are more limitations when it becomes more business.
When it becomes a business.
But at the beginning, just do it because you like it. And that's what I did, to be honest.
Exactly. And if we speak on the kind of the business model, so you're effectively you are like a niche agent for luxury homes now with a bespoke platform, because you have a specific audience away from the typical Rightmove, Zoopla portals. You've effectively created your own portal as well for a target audience, which I think is good. So how have you built a team? Like what have you?
So I built a team. I've got a team behind that helps me with the showcasing of the content, which content to post, and especially looking for homes, because so obviously we get, as I said, a number of people that say they're looking for a particular type of home, but what we'll see is the homes that people want are the homes that are showcased on the page. So you don't see them a lot, especially in below £2 million. It's quite difficult to find. So I have a small team of people that help me look for homes for some of the buyers that do come through. We work with agents, as I said, so they might connect with some of the agents, or they might go direct to to sellers to try and, you know, convince them to say that, look, we've got buyers and things like that. So yeah, I've got a small team of people that help me out, which
so it's almost like a two-pronged attack, that you've got the people who are just saying, can you market my house? I've got an amazing house that I feel would fit your demographic of followers. Away from that, you've got your people that they've seen what you have. Maybe not everything you've posted is available, and they're like, look, I love that house. That one's gone, but maybe, you know, I can get you something else or get you something similar, which I think, and the fact that you've taken obviously just an interest in property, although you said you were an investor previously, for one of the main reasons I wanted to get you on board in a discussion, because a lot of the people that approach us, you know, and I'm sure you get approached a lot of the time about, you know, to say, how do I get into property, or how do I get started? And a lot of people are maybe at a stage where they're being stopped by capital restrictions or credit or other things. But one thing I always tell people is nothing stopping you from moving along on your journey and taking steps, because not everybody's path to buying a property is the same, or getting into property investment. So the fact that you've taken a passion and made it a business, which even if you didn't invest in property, potentially would give you, you know, the opportunity to invest and to develop, you know, start doing developments your own, build connections. You know, I think is really, and also networking, the kind of people that obviously I'm sure you're networking with,
100%.
that I'm sure your investment opportunities have gone, do you know what I mean? Through the roof, because you're talking to people, you're engaging, and you also now have a value proposition to offer to somebody. So if you wanted to go and shadow a, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 figure developer, you're saying, look, I've got this platform to offer you, but I need this from you. And I think
100%. So I think so obviously my entry point into property was more, so there's different entry points really, but me being able to do what I did with £1 Million Homes came from a lot of the work that I was doing for years before. That's why I was able to quickly transition just from it's a marketing platform to where do I source homes, how do I source homes, who do I connect with.
Because what's your background actually, like academic or, you know?
So I was working in financial services for 5.5 years, or 6 years, too long to be honest. I'm not in it no more. But I was in financial services. I worked for Barclays for 4.5 years. Then I worked at the Financial Ombudsman, so I was an investigator there as well. So during that time, I was investing in buy-to-lets, and so my entry point into property was investing in a buy-to-let with my good friend James up in Blackburn. I've still got that property today. Now, in the nicest way possible, I wish I didn't have that property today, but it was a good entry point into property because I looked at yield and up north properties are cheaper, you know, 12% yield. That must be amazing. And then you realize, it's 12% yield. But so I invested, I had a small amount of money in uni. So did my friend James. We invested in a mixed use property, commercial downstairs, a barbershop, and a 2-bedroom flat upstairs. And then we were collecting the rental income and saving that rental income. And then we wanted to get into more different types of properties. So we bought a new build, but at that time we bought it off plan.
Okay.
And
in what area?
It was in Sunbury, which is in Sunbury upon Thames, which is near Staines.
You're just flying around to like
opportunity. If there was an opportunity, I'm going there. So that's the way that I looked at it. But so we invested in a new build flat in Sunbury on Thames, but with that one it was a bit more expensive. So we put our money together, but then we went to family to cover the shortfall.
Yeah.
And then after that we bought a portfolio of 6 flats, so 6 new build flats.
Do you mind just answering WizKid's question quickly, which is what does off plan mean?
So before it's built, essentially.
Yeah, so effectively.
Yeah. So before it was built, so I can't even get it done, you know. Yeah, so before it was built, I think we bought it 9 months before it was built. We got it at a pre-agreed price. Obviously, the developer, you probably seen this marketing, but they said, you know, it can actually be this price, but now we'll sell it to you for this price.
Yeah. But and to be fair, sometimes it is. Like I've got a friend who he could semi-retire off an off-plan block that he built just because the market went in the right way at the right time and they did a really good job on the development. And they actually offered him money to not sell them because he could undercut what they were selling them for because they sold them for so cheap. But I think, like that thing that you did touch on in terms of just chasing opportunity,
100%.
if one door's closed, it doesn't mean another one can't open for you. So whether
100%.
you went to Blackburn, to Staines, to partner up with friends, to look at, also a lot of people underestimate potentially friends and family in their immediate
100%.
circle when it comes to investing, because people will message and say like, oh, everyone hears about, no money down or somebody else's money, and assumes that they're just going to find these magic people on the internet that are giving out money. But in actual fact, it's going to be your target, your immediate circle a lot of the time
100%.
that are going to be able to offer investment because they believe in you, because they know you have credibility with them.
100%. That's what obviously you should reach out. So that's what we did essentially in order to raise the funds for certain investments that we had. So our friends and our family know who we are, what kind of people we are, what our background is, and not, if it wasn't necessarily in property, we had transferable skills. So we're able to work out the numbers and we were credible. So that's why they were, happy to give us the money in order to fund certain things. So at least from, our experience with Blackburn led to the experience with Sunbury, but then that led to us doing quite a big deal, which was getting six flats in Norwich, but we bought 25% below market value. We went up again.
You should just draw your trajectory of, it would just look like a spider's web of your investment over the UK. You said I want a little piece of everywhere.
No, 100%. Because for me, it was, I understand the power in investing in certain regions, so at least you can get to wherever the opportunity is, or if there's an issue with the property, you want to get there. But it's more, for me anyway, you need to trust the people that you're working with in those areas. So whether it's a management company, you need to understand that who the management company, you need to either get recommendations, reviews and things like that. Make sure you trust the people in those areas. So, but also there's numbers that support everything. So the reasons why we invested in Norwich, it was right in the city centre next to an Aviva building. So the people that rent those kind of properties, we know the kind of jobs that they get, for example.
You've done the research, you've looked in to make sure that there was demand. And also 100%. I think what you said just then about, it's fine to buy in an area that you don't know, but you have to have 100%. Some type of infrastructure or some 100%. Type of management plan in place, because your plan 100%. Can't be that a washing machine breaks down on a Friday and your 100%. Plan is to drive up there on a Friday 100%. Night and try and find someone or trust somebody. Just
100%.
Yeah. So I think an interesting question came through from Melanin Plus Organic, which is just it's quite different. It's like, have you suffered any type of discrimination in regards to, or have you found any barriers in regards to discrimination because you're in your target audience, the people that you're dealing with?
So with £1 million homes, I probably had less of that. Probably haven't seen it affect me as much as during my investment journey. During my investment journey, we used to face quite a lot of I'd say more concern from people that didn't believe that we would be able to perform just because of what our background was. This is not necessarily speculation, but this is more from, advice from one of our brokers, for example, why we couldn't receive lending on certain types of schemes and things like that, due to like age, concerned more about demographic and the kind of deals that we were proposing. So I would say not really in £1 million homes, to be fair. People are quite warm with me, and I'm actually dealing with more like I would say more ethnic minorities and things like that in
and I guess
£1 million homes.
To a degree, you're not that actively out there as the face of the brand, so people 100%. Have decided they're going to do business with the brand prior to being able to make to make discriminatory choices. Sure. They've already decided to engage with the brand. Yeah,
and that's the thing. And if you decide to just engage with the brand, and then you see me or my name or whatever, and you decide that you don't want to be honest, that's completely up to you. But
yeah, I mean, you'd rather, if they don't want to because of that, you'd rather not do business with them in the first place.
So. It wouldn't make any sense to them because they can't get their house. So exactly. I mean, to be honest, in £1 million homes, I think, well, in general, in business, I think sometimes you actually just have to prove yourself first before, if you can prove yourself first, and then afterwards, people can make whatever judgment that they want to make. But I would say £1 million homes, I've actually been dealing more with ethnic minorities, so I haven't really dealt with that, and everyone's been fine with me. But in my investment journey, I'd say it was a completely different thing.
And that's good. Just because this question leads on from the same thing, which is Dammy J has asked. Oh, hi, Dammy. Has asked, would you say not putting your face out there has helped you get to where it is, or?
I don't know, to be honest. I would say that it might have helped if I put my face to it, because people like to personalize certain things. They like to know who they're talking to, what they're talking to them about. And when you put your personality out there, you tend to get people that are more attracted to you because of your personality. So maybe I would have got more of my tribe or people that might be attracted to me if I put my face out there. But
you might have.
In the same breath,
I think for me, like, there's some stuff that I probably followed your page. I think it was maybe on 20,000. I think I followed it from my personal page a long time before that. But I followed it because it was just a mood board. And like, sometimes on Instagram, that's all I want. I just want nice pictures. I don't really want conversations. I don't want much more than just show me nice stuff and inspire me. And I think that's what your page did for a lot of people.
I think when you make it with add in a personal brand, sometimes it can become more your ego as opposed to what people just want to see.
Propertybykazy.
Yeah. You're good. Because even before, because we even had a conversation about it, you never used to put your face out there. It was only until I think the Kingston refurbishment that you decided you started talking to people and showcasing things more. But I mean, your work spoke for itself. So you didn't really
I think definitely you're right. I started out and it was just pictures. But then I think because of potentially, like you said, a lot of the time people do want to engage, and because of the type of stuff that I'm doing potentially with raising finance or with doing JVs, etc. A lot of the time it's, even though the work speaks for itself, people actually just want to hear something from somebody to say, are these pictures just being taken off Pinterest? Sometimes. So there was that kind of balance.
And that's, I think for me anyway, obviously if you know me personally, I like talking a lot, but in general, public speaking, I don't really like speaking too much. I'd rather just get things done.
You're doing very well today.
I'm trying, man. Obviously, I'm trying a little bit, but I don't like speaking too much, and I think maybe that's hindered me, maybe it hasn't. But every person that I've spoken to, that's either a developer or an investor, I think they always kind of have their personal presence, because it actually helps to raise funds or get investment from, and more opportunities come to you when you speak. I actually realized that from Clubhouse.
It's even, I think, us bumping into each other. If I probably didn't have my face,
100%.
like, we wouldn't have maybe been having this conversation today. So it's also very 100%. Good from a networking perspective. But I think your brand is slightly different because it's a shop window. And if I'm competing with, if I'm looking at, okay, what's my competition? Zoopla and Rightmove. They're a brand. So it's like your brand is so important. Anything that detracts from the band could potentially be negative, although you may, like you said, bring in the tribe, you may take away from the brand itself.
Yeah, 100%. So that's why I want to make it more about, as I said, I'm obviously happy to speak whenever it makes sense. This conversation, I've seen your previous ones, they've been good conversations. But for me, anyway, it will always be £1 Million Homes, the brand that is essentially the front of everything. I might pop out here and there, and sometimes I might talk.
Let the people see you.
I might
your
talk
skin's
sometimes.
Glowing today, sir. So
please,
we want to see you.
The sun's hitting me at an angle.
You're looking good, my friend.
No, but as I said, £1 Million Homes is essentially my day to day. That's the main thing that will just be out there. As I said, it won't necessarily become more of a personal thing, but you might see me pop out here and there. So man, it will keep going.
I think that's really good. So just to reset, like I've learned from Clubhouse, I have to reset the room or reset the live. So today I'm with Kofi, the owner of £1 Million Homes. £1 Million Homes, a platform on Instagram that started showcasing luxury homes and went into becoming actually somewhere to market and sell luxury homes as an agent on a sort of bespoke exclusive platform, as well as sourcing luxury homes for specific buyers. I think I have a question for you, which it's always good. I've learned about where you are, where you kind of have got to now. Where do you see, like, where's the journey for £1 Million Homes? Where can you take this is there other areas of the business you'd want to integrate into it?
So £1 Million Homes really is going to transition into, obviously it's on Instagram, but it's going to transition into its own platform, essentially. So at the moment, obviously we have buyers, sellers, architects and interior designers that, are really, we work with a lot. But obviously people asking for architects, people asking for interior designers, my DMs are a mess. So I want to create a platform where people can get the quality professionals that they want on this particular platform, or homes that are not necessarily selected by myself, but it'll be the type of homes that I know that are
you're gonna go
market wants.
You're gonna go for some VC funding on an accelerator with a nice little prop tech business. I see what you're doing.
I mean, if there's any VC people in the comments
exactly,
that want to drop me a
if you're in
message.
there, or also, are you thinking app based or web based to begin with?
So it'll be web based at the beginning, but we will transition into an app. So those are conversations.
So the best web designers, best app developers, this is your opportunity to reach out, especially if you're looking to get into property, because potentially there's a trade-off of services that could be offered here. So
it's actually fun, because now I'm actually looking to have those kind of conversations with people. I've had a few conversations with people in the past week. One of my good friends, actually, he's got a company, Cubic Lease. He's just raised 545k from VCs for his prop tech business as well. And he's the person I invested in properties with. And obviously after his experience, he's saying, you need a platform. You've got traction already and things like that.
I can see it. Like, I didn't see it till we had this conversation, but it makes 100% sense, because the banks, well, a lot more than I do, but from your background in finance, but that they're looking to invest more so, in prop tech industries, because it's definitely the way business is going. You've already got a base. You've got proof of concept. So if you can tie services together, I think that could be really, 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 really good.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. But even with what we've got now, so even like our website, for example, I've seen somebody recommend IO branding. So the person that did our website, Olivia, she's done a lovely website. So what it is now is that we want to obviously add, it's more like a service-based website, but we want to add in elements for people to actually go and look at things, because we actually not just get DMs, we get people subscribing and saying that these are their details and things like that. So people actually want to work with us outside of Instagram. So I want to make sure that we can. I'm a helpful person, so I just want to.
And do you know what? I think people, and I appreciate a lot of the comments from the discussion we're having today. It's just a discussion about how we can move forward. So I appreciate everyone that's in here today has taken their time out, all of your kind words, because I think Kofi and myself, a lot of it is about, if you put yourself in a position where you have the opportunity to elevate others, a lot of the time you'll find that will, push you forward in your own journey as well. And I like the fact that every person you've worked alongside, whether it be the person you bought your first home with, somebody has helped you with the website, you've made sure you bigged them up and gave them their credit and their flowers, which I think is great as well.
Yeah, 100%. I have to shout out my marketing admin.
Plug them all. Plug them all, man. This is free marketing.
I'm Rita. Rita's my marketing person as well. But that's my partner as well. She's actually been very helpful, especially with the stories, the this and that. People will just always message me more about the this and that than sometimes buying homes, and I'm just like, you need to
I'll start to do some mini this and that as well. I like it. It's just good engagement.
It actually works out, but people really enjoy that kind of stuff, to be fair.
I feel like at a point in time you start to feel accountable to your followers. Like, if you haven't, put out something on the stories, it's like, look, 100%. You lot are not spending your time, but you follow me. Hopefully you follow 100%. Me, you like my stuff, you share it, you 100%. Save it. Like, I want to feed the machine, because you're 100%. Like, follow me for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm providing a service sometimes. Sometimes people just like the, so even, for example, we do giveaways. At the end, last Friday of every month, we do giveaways. So I think this one we just did with interior designer, where we gave away free interior design services. And then the month before that, we did quite a big one where we gave away, I think we gave a bed frame away, £1,000 travel voucher, and some other stuff. I can't remember what it was, but we did a lot of things, but we don't really need to do that. But brands come to us and we work with them just to give us stuff.
Because that's the other thing. It's like you could have just taken a bread frame for yourself and had a nice bed frame.
I can't, like, not even the bed frame, the holiday £1,000 travel voucher.
I know, but at the same time,
I could have been in Dubai, but obviously the service, we want to help people out.
Exactly, and I think it is about giving back, finding that balance between, what we're doing. So yeah, let me know as well if you got a giveaway. I'd happy to offer some time, or offer potentially like a half day of mentorship or something as part of your package. Because I need to do my own one. I've recently networked with some guys over at the Hill Hub, which is Reboot Property. They've set up this. It's a black-owned black business hub in Dartford.
Yeah,
like helping.
I've seen it.
It's
Sammy, I think Sammy.
Yeah, so Sammy, Sammy's the main guy. So I went down there, and obviously I said, you know what? Off the back of the conversations I had with those guys, I was going to do a giveaway, but rather than give away, I don't know, like a PlayStation or something, like let me give away something that I think really is going to add value. So work with them to get some like free office space for 3 months. So I'm going to be doing that as like a 30k giveaway as well. So yeah, that's actually where I met Dammy, who said to add you. Yeah, she was the Dammy, what was your role in that project? I know she oversaw the project, and I'm rubbish with qualification because I don't have them. So Dammy, tell us what you have. Dammy was actually involved in that project, and yeah, it's an amazing project. So if you haven't seen it, guys, as well, go and have a look at the Hill Hub or Reboot Property or Rehab Off. I don't know. It's got so many ways to pronounce.
They finished the project. Then now I think they're starting out. So
they finished it. They've started renting the stuff out. It's actually a transformation project director. There we go. They've actually started renting out the spaces. So they converted the old courthouse and police station into an office space. So what used to be prison cells are now, free woman offices. And then they've got stage 2 of the development, or second phase, which is going to be a co-living space next door. So that's really good in terms of, you can imagine you're a young entrepreneur, you're setting up, you can go from working in the communal or shared office space to the smaller, like 2-3 people offices. So I think they've got up to 16 people or 18 people offices there. So it's a good way to develop the business. So hopefully we get one of the followers, they can get in there. I think they're going to give away like 3 months of free working space, and they can hope to develop. And they also get the opportunity to be on a business accelerator, which could help grow their business as well, which is all really good. But back to your business, because that's what we're here for today. So in terms of the developing it, where in terms of where, because you kind of cut out where your trajectory is. So where do you see it? Like, obviously, we said actually, sorry, in terms of
the platform, but there's multiple things, avenues that we can go down. So obviously so in terms of like estate agency, for example, so we're gonna do more of a, I would say, boutique estate agency, not necessarily based on volume, but specific types of listings that people would expect from us, because we get sellers and we get buyers. I've worked with agents that, we've had a seller and we've showcased the property, and then, we've had a lot of predominantly the most amount of people that wanted to view and found the buyers. So we didn't really need to work with certain agents. So that's why I want to make sure that we can have a boutique estate agency that focuses on different type of marketing, obviously social media based marketing, but implementing the traditional methods as well. And then I've spoken to developers as well that like doing specific types of developments as well. So not necessarily like the 3 million plus, but maybe 1 million pounds, but 3 unit schemes or 6 unit schemes, stuff like that. So these are all things that I'm having discussions about, but I'm the kind of person, as I said, with the areas and the investments, I'll go everywhere. So I just want to make sure that we can do it step by step and it's done properly, because especially in this marketplace, it's the quality of the thing that you're delivering that matters the most. So we just need to make sure we get it right.
So you saying with off the back of obviously the hopeful profits and success of £1 million homes, your plan is still to reinvest in real estate and property in the UK?
Yes and no. So yes, I'll invest in property because I've been in property for the last 5 years. So to me, I think it's a no-brainer because I understand where you can make money in property. But to be honest, I'm falling out of love with like the investment side of property. So I would want to invest in more. Let's say, for example, I sell and everything works out. I think I'll just invest in young entrepreneurs because this stuff is hard, man.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
I would
No,
invest
it
in young
is.
entrepreneurs.
So
And
almost
yeah.
like an angel investor is what.
Yeah, but I'll do more like mentorship, angel investor, things like that, because I just want to see, because there's a lot of skills that you need really to make it as an entrepreneur. And I know obviously now it's kind of the thing to do, and people saying you can do it and blah blah
Yeah.
blah and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not true. To be fair, there's a
It's
lot of things that need to be implemented in order for you to really be successful. So I want to kind of talk to people at an early stage before they transition to try and implement those things.
I think that maybe leads me on to another nice question, which is take yourself back in time.
Yeah.
What do you kind of wish you knew maybe that 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago that you didn't know, that you wish you know or wish you could have actioned?
One, obviously, get everything in writing. That's one of those. That's one of those things that I'm sure everyone has has experienced.
You laugh now, but I'm sure you
Yeah.
cried at the time.
Listen, even one quick story, but somebody so the same time we were investing in Blackburn, we were trying to invest in I think it was Burnley. Investing in Burnley as well. So they had really high yields. We were just excited about yields. So they had really high yields and things like that. And somebody was basically, some agent came to us and they said, yeah, look, we've got two properties that they're going to be refurbished. And when they're done, it's going to be like a 20% yield. Now, bear in mind, we're just looking at numbers.
Yeah, just seeing
no context. Yeah, no context numbers. Now, fortunately, we saw, I got them to write down the price that was agreed and things like that, and when it was going to be done. But what they took a reservation fee, and then afterwards, what happened was they never completed the properties, and then they tried to keep the reservation fee and say that we tried to pull out, so they're not going to give it back. It took me 3 years going to court to get that money back. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of time and things like that. But fortunately, in that situation, I got it in writing just because I was a bit like skeptical at that time. But the point is, I never would have got that money back if I didn't get it in writing. Yeah. When people were, some people will try and like, especially when you're new into property, mentors sometimes.
You're eager as well.
You're eager, and that's why, because you're just looking at the numbers. You're not looking at the context. You're not doing the research. You're not understanding the risk associated with certain yields and things like that. Obviously, get rich quick schemes and things like that. You're not really thinking about what the consequences are of certain things. Yeah. So I would just say, get everything in writing. That's the first thing. And also as you said, mentioned before, no money down schemes and things like that, and the property training, things like that. I think everyone that understands or knows what's going on in certain courses, I think there are legitimate ones that you can see that people are, have a level of credibility and things like that, but always do your due diligence on whoever is telling you to buy a house. The company's house is there. There are people that they worked with there. They should be able to evidence certain things. So you should be able to grill them, especially if you're going to give them your money.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, you should also, I feel training or, learning is to fill in gaps as opposed to give you everything. Because if someone was to come to me with no property experience or they haven't looked at anything and just expect me in the space of, I don't know, a couple of weeks or whatever the actual duration or a couple of months that the course is, I can't give somebody everything. It's like you can fill in the gaps. So I think a lot
100%.
of the time, potentially there's so much free information out there.
100%.
Instagram, YouTube, like ebooks or books that are going to cost you £6 or £8.
100%.
Pay the little amount and then work out what you don't know first, and then potentially pay somebody to fill in those blanks.
I think we're in a good time now because you've got Clubhouse. Like I've heard you speaking in a number of rooms on Clubhouse. We've got YouTube, we've got Instagram. So I would say you've got the information out there, like you said. But if you're looking for a mentor and things like that, yes, I'm not saying paying for a mentor is wrong. So I understand that people's time is worth a certain amount. So I'm not actually against it. But sometimes you need to be, there's people out there that will actually spend the time with you if they believe that you are, you can provide them value, or you may be teachable. Sometimes they might see you as a smaller version of themselves. So they take you on board. but you need to be able to be teachable or be able to provide some sort of value. And that's where I actually met a lot of the, I would say, older developers that I still am in contact with now. I spoke to them more about, oh, I came across a particular site that wasn't just on Rightmove.
Oh, I lost you for a second there. I don't know if everyone else, can everyone else still hear Kofi? This is weird. I don't know. Can anyone hear Kofi? Okay. We appear to have lost. Kofi has left the building. Unfortunately, he's probably gone to close another £1 million deal. And, you know, unfortunately, he can't be with us right now. So I'm going to plug him for him as he's not here with us anymore. I think there's a little delay on the comments coming through and everyone shouting no at me now. I've seen 24 no's. I get it. Kofi is no longer here. But I much appreciate him coming on. I personally think this is probably one of the lives I've learned the most from or learned the most about somebody. So I really appreciate him coming on and joining us today to share his insight. And I think one of the reasons I've mentioned already, but why I wanted to get him on is there's more than one way to skin a cat. And there's so many different ways you can get into property. And he's obviously shown that he's had a completely different journey to myself and so many other developers. But even though he mentioned that it's not potentially his focus to stay in property for the long term, he's built an income stream, built credibility, built value, which would allow him to invest if he wasn't in a position prior to starting his business. So if you're not already, I believe we have him back. Do we have him back? Let's see. But yeah, he's put himself in a position to, here we go.
You know what? I'll add and say preparation because my battery died.
Do you know what? It was looking and I was saying, can I hear you? I don't know if it's just me that can't hear you.
Yeah. No, I saw it dying and I was just
panicked. Don't worry, I had to freestyle for a little bit and just, you know what I mean? Just warm the crowd until you came back.
Yeah. I think I was saying, I can't remember what I was saying. So, like, for example, if I went back in time or whatever, finding good mentors, finding good people to work with, people that are experienced to do it. If you're not paying them because their time is valuable, then you need to be of value. And sometimes you can do that by presenting opportunities that they may not have come across. So, for example, I used to read like regeneration plans of certain cities and certain areas, so I'll be able to identify where certain.
Why'd you say sadly?
Because I used to read the 30-page PDF and look at the colours and things like that and see this area wants a 10-story building in Birmingham and stuff like that. And to me...
But you're adding value because you said...
I'm adding value, but I say it's quite sad.
You don't read
regeneration plans on a Saturday, you know. I
don't, but it's about if you know where you want to get to and you know that, okay, look, I want to speak to, like, let's say, like you, I don't know where people are based, but somebody wants to speak to David Price, top developer in his area. Yeah. Now, just to go and speak to him potentially, he's going to have, hundreds of people messaging him all the time to say, I'd love to be your intern. I'd love to shadow you. But if somebody approaches him and says, look, I've read the regeneration plans in your area inside and out, and I really like your stuff. However, have you considered X, Y, or Z? All of a sudden, you're top of his list.
100%.
And I think you hit the nail on the head with that. Like, I get a lot of inquiries. I don't do mentoring. However, I have, quote unquote, can't name him, much like you, he's behind his brand, but one person who I'd say I'm semi-mentoring because he's added so much value. Like, he's great with the social media. He helps me with my posts. He helps me with, like, okay, you know what, that video, he would just come and say, that video was good, but I would have done this. I'm going to help you put subtitles. We just approach, say, look, I've seen that video. It needs subtitles. I'm like, I've got a video with subtitles on. This is great.
Yeah.
Now I feel like, look, we've now got a relationship. There's a trade-off here, which I think, definitely for young people wanting to get into property, there will be, don't get me wrong, like we're doing this today, there's no kind of value directly for yourself for doing this, but you want to give back. So there will be stuff that you'll do for free just to give back. But
100%.
generally speaking, you know, you've got to find a value proposition. Like, how are you going to present yourself in a way that's going to make you stand out above the rest? It's just like sending your CV off.
100%.
You know, it's just Instagram, a DM is a modern day CV. You've got to captivate somebody in those first couple of lines, or, you know, it gets lost in a barrage of DMs.
Yeah, it's true. Because think about how many people are messaging you, for example, saying they want a mentor, or how did you get into property, or what would you do if you had 5k, or things like that. There's going to be hundreds of people that are going to be messaging you that every single day. So why are you going to pick out, and I'm sure you respond to a lot of people the same way I would respond to a lot of people, but why are you going to pick out that particular person? What are they actually bringing to you that is going to make you pay attention? You're not just going to look at it and like, okay, it's another message, and things like that, because they're going to need to put in a certain amount of effort. They might need to, you know, research you. What kind of deals do you like? And they might go and search that and then go and present it to you and say, look, I've seen this particular deal. What could I work with you on this? Or, you know, if you took this deal, even if you asked for a fee, but they worked with you to kind of bring the deal into fruition.
Yeah.
You're going to be learning on the job. So you're working with somebody that you essentially admire, but you brought them the opportunity. And that's how you
100%.
move forward.
I think I've done one deal like that where it's like somebody said, look, I've done all my comps, I've done the numbers, here's the PDF. I'm just going to trust you that you're not going to go like, you know, this is a deal I've got. It might be on open market, but I've seen it on Rightmove. This is what they did down the road. These are the numbers on it. I can't do it, but if you do it, you know, potentially either do it, pay me, don't pay me, but I'm on the ground, say, look, I'm going to pay you something off the back end. You can help me PM it because you've already shown that you know your numbers. But again, it's just about creating that. I'm going to say it all the time, but just value proposition.
No, 100%. And that's what I feel like with £1 million homes as well. That's in a different way. That's essentially how it transitioned. Is because I was finding homes for people and posting it on the page that weren't necessarily on the open market. They were off market, but I might have seen it on Rightmove that it sold 2 years before. But I was looking at Rightmove and I remembered certain areas. So now people are coming to me saying, "Oh, where's that home? Is that home for sale?" And that's how, you know, I met a lot of the, I would say, clients or buyers that we're dealing with now that are, you know, maybe sports professionals or influencers or well-known individuals. That's the value that I was providing, is I'm showing them opportunities that they're not, or I say opportunities, I'm showing them potential homes that they were not finding with their local estate agent and things like that. And also providing more of a service than, here's a home, do the viewing, move on. We might show you something that's, you know, 1.5 million, but your budget's 2, but you can spend 200,000 with this interior designer that we can recommend because of the work that they've done, or this architect that we can introduce you to, and then show them why that, you know, if you spend a certain amount of money, the comparables will support that, you know, this could be the end value and things like that.
It's like, yeah, so it's kind of like the bespoke service with like the vertical integration of, you know, building up you know, like a proper Rolodex, old school Rolodex style of architects, interior designers with risk solicitors. And you've got, you know, people that you can trust to work with. And also, if you're showing somebody, like you said, a house that's worth 1.5, they got a £2 million budget, and you're actually showing, you know what, you can get this house to be worth 2.2 million by spending 200,000. You're adding value through your expertise. That, don't get me wrong, people can get from an agent, but not always from every agent. So, like you said, you're ticking those boxes of experience as well as the sales side of things, which I think is good. I think potentially wrap up there. But yeah, this has been really good conversation. Glad to see the man behind the brands. Got to look behind the curtain a little bit, see what inspires you and makes you tick. So I appreciate you for coming on. Anything you want to plug? Anything that's coming soon in regard to £1 million homes?
To be fair, just keep following the page, man. I proper appreciate everyone following the page, liking, commenting, and things like that. I see everything. To be fair, I'm always on the page. I see all the comments, I see all the likes, DMs, and things like that. So I proper appreciate everyone following, and thank you for bringing me on, man. You brought me out.
We at your show a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
Spoke very well. You haven't got to
no,
write. You can start doing public speaking now.
no, definitely not. But I might pop out from time to time, as I
Yeah,
said. But no, I appreciate.
for sure, we'll get you on again.
You're definitely doing your thing. Send me
Thank
some
you.
more work, man, so I can show.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm
Showcase.
working. I've got somewhere coming up.
Yeah.
Had a couple offers accepted, 2 detached
Yeah.
properties that are going to be quite nice. So
Any £1 million homes?
yeah, one of them will be. One of them has got like this massive 3/4 of an acre garden. So I'm
Okay.
thinking about maybe putting a tennis court in the rear. It's going to be a luxury refurb. So I'll get you straight on that with a drone. Just, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
swooping around. But yeah, that probably would be
100%.
probably be end of this year completion for that one. In terms of me, little plug. No Clubhouse is coming up, but have got a few new episodes coming out on the YouTube of just some various different developments we've done, some mid-project stuff. Again, mentioned we're going to be doing that 30k giveaway where we're going to be giving away, I'm going to be giving away like half a day of mentorship as well as free office space in the Ruby Centre or the Hill Hub for 3 months. So make sure you're following to keep track of that. We will have another live next Sunday. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I believe it's the lawyer episode. So if you are looking at buying a property shortly or just wanting to know maybe about auction purchases or anything to do with the legal side of things in regards to property and the property space, make sure you tune in next week. We're here each and every Sunday at 6 p.m. for your opportunity to ask an expert like Kofi everything about property. So thank you very much for coming on. Guys, thank you very much for logging in. Appreciate all your comments. And we shall catch up soon. Oh, my YouTube is the same as my Instagram, Propertybykazy, all one word, no spaces. Thank you and take care, my brothers. See ya and sisters. Take care.